Greetings, fellow taxers and fans of Modern, competitive Magic. Welcome to a deck tech and a little bit of a tournament report on a Modern challenge I participated in on, I don't know, September 9th, I believe? 8th, something like that. A couple days ago. And yeah, we made the top 8 at it, so it seems worthy of discussion, especially for real fans of Death and Taxes. But if you also like to see, you know, somebody just trying to adjust their deck to try to adapt to the metagame as opposed to just jumping into the next new thing, then you know, stick with me here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll go forward from there. So if you're new to the deck, I'll just go over a little brief rundown. It's it's almost like 3 different decks in one. The main one is like a taxing deck, in which you use your Thalias and your Arbiters and kind of the Thought Knots in order to like disrupt and mess with your opponent's ability to play the game that they want to play. And then there's sort of a value strategy of like Wall of Omens, Blade Splicers, Flicker Wisps, and Restos in order to you know, just get value out of the games as they unfold and open up to more mana, more spells, more creatures, all those things, right? Yeah, being able to make the golems with the Blade Splicer, you're able to blink them and double up on those and just make a really nice board presence just very, very quickly, while sometimes disrupting them with like your 2-drop value or your Arbiter and such. The Wall of Omens is usually a little controversial in some people's eyes because people see this as sort of an aggressive deck and attacking. I kind of see it as like, well, attacking in a way, but like attacking in a bunch of different ways. Like not just attacking with creatures, but like attacking their mana, their resources, attacking card advantage. And Wall of Omens allows you to just gain pure card advantage, especially like when you're able to flick it with the Blade Splicer or Restoration Angel or Flicker Wisp. And by flicking it, you know, I mean just making it leave and come back either immediately or at the end of the turn. So yeah, you know, you use these cards in order to just keep up with the what your opponents are doing. The 0-4 makes it able to like block against a lot of decks, their early pressure, but then like sets you up for a turn 4 resto block with the Wall of Omens. Resto your creature, like they're hitting you with a 5/6 Tarmogoyf for a Gurmag Angler or something. You're just drawing a card, not even taking any damage. It's and getting a 3/4 flying into play. It's a maneuver that's won me a lot of Magic games, folks. So yeah, so there's that aspect, and then there's sort of the Eldrazi aspect, which I mean Thought Knot sort of comes into the taxing plans, but it also you know, it's just Eldrazi. It's just a big body with a good ability for a very reasonable mana cost, and the Eldrazi Displacer as well, just having an incredible ability to take over the game, good stats for its casting cost, and then access to the Eldrazi Temple to power them both out quicker. They're fantastic when they're working. I used to play 4 in the first few episodes of my series on YouTube on channel Nikachu here. I was just finding that the sheer amount of 4 and 3 drops were just too much, and I just need to get more cards that are cheaper into the deck. So that's where Thraben came in. I've tried a lot of different spots, the cards in this spot. Thraben, even in the episode series that's going to come out with this one, I switched over this one card to a Sun Cleanser just because of all the hardened scales. I wanted to try them out. Hardened scales, humans, you know, and it does like some case corner stuff, but you know what? You'll see in those videos, the deck still perform well, but the Sun Cleanser also isn't right. Like, we basically just don't have enough good 2-drops in mono white. Like Wall of Omens, Thalias, Leon, and Arbiter, like we're maxed out on them. Every other 2-drop that you'd want to play is double white, and with my deck here, we're on 13 white sources in the deck, which is about 80% chance to get 2 white by turn 4. So like for a 2-drop, you don't want to have an 80% chance of playing it on turn 4. You want to have like 95% chance of playing it turn 2, so which we will never achieve while having all these abilities in our lands. And now, well, the most interesting thing I probably did do with the deck here lately is add these gut shots. If you've been following the series for a while, or you know, like you know what I'm about there, I was playing Shining Shoals for a very long time, and I found them to be incredibly good and won me a lot of games. But then the format sort of got a little faster than our attack steps, so to speak. Like the aggressive decks, they're putting out a board presence that's just so overwhelming before they even attack you once. So like a Shining Shoal is actually just like, it's too slow because like people are playing, and also too, like the creatures they're playing are very big or they're very small, right? So it's the Shining Shoal is very hard to hit a Gurmag Angler with. Clearly a Gutshot's not going to do that either, but what Gutshot does do is it's only one card to use it, and it can go off immediately. So you know, I'm not I was able to kill a lot of Hierarchs off the start, and I mean, I don't know if you watch this first turn Hierarch when I'm on the draw, usually I'm just dead. But instead, it's like, no, I think they're dead. Like, they kept a one-land Hierarch hand now, it looks like, or, you know? Or even now they're just playing their second land and they're not doing their 3-mana thing they wanted to do before I even get my second land out. So, it just makes it into the foot race, like, instead of just them sprinting away. Also, yeah, against humans, being able to take out their champion, their Thalia's Lieutenant, their, what's it called? Hierarch, of course. I love killing Hierarchs. And, even their phantasmal images, like it's just very good against them, and going to take away those starts that we cannot compete with. Because, I mean, you know, a lot of times when you get to turn the corner with this deck, actually humans is not that bad. I mean, I actually even have a decent tournament record against humans. It's not my most feared matchup. I mean, it's not a matchup I like or I'd want, but it is a matchup that I can win the games if I play tight and I get good enough luck. Because my deck's, like, their deck's more explosive, but my deck is actually a little more consistent. So, like, I'm, you know, even though I'm consistently a little slower than them, when their deck isn't doing what it isn't firing on all cylinders, I can take those games. So, yeah, that's the Gutshot, and then it's incredible against Steel Overseers, but then you think about the extra overlap. Like, you just kill Snapcasters when they try to throw it out there to block. You could just kill Pyromancer, like, Dark Confidant. Like, there's like every deck, it's almost like one toughness once again has come around to like being like a linchpin of the format. Like, almost all the aggressive decks need a one toughness creature. Or Infect, like, you know, Infect I've having a lot of troubles. I'm still having some troubles with it, but less troubles when you get the Gutshot, their first threat. Or Path and then in response, or Gutshot and response Path. No, the other way. You do it the other way. You Path it in response, just Gutshot them. Like, these are good things to be able to do, and especially, like, I love playing spells when I'm tapped out. There's no more advantageous time to act when your opponent than when your opponent thinks that you cannot act. So, like, you know, people are going to go all in, and they're going to, like, you know, like, maybe they're going to attack you with their Inkmoth Nexus, and they're just going to sack all their creatures to the Ravager to kill you, because you're all tapped out. You're like, well, guess what? Surprise! I am not tapped out. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much the main deck cards. And then, yeah, the lands we have, I went down to 3 Windbrisk Heights because I was finding that, you know, like they say the difference between 3 and 4 of a card in your deck is if you have 3 of them, you have a 25% chance to get one in your starting hand. If you have 4 of them, you have something like a 33% chance, or 35, maybe 35, I don't know. It's not as much higher as it is than the initial having 3. But then if you think about it, what are the odds you're going to get 2 in a game? I mean, they're much higher when you have 4 than when you have 3. So, to me, it's like going down to 3. Like, I still want a starting hand, but I can easily, usually with the amount of 2 drops and using the Eldrazi mana and this and that, I'm able to just sneak one out in the middle of the game, even if I didn't draw it in my starting hand. But getting 2 into play in a tight game that's a tall order that I can often not fulfill. So that's why we've gone down to 3 of them. Still love them, just you know, can't have that many lands that come into play tapped. Like, even the black-white taxes, you see, they usually play 3 Shambling Vents, because, you know, they probably can't afford to play the 4th, even though they'd probably like to have access to that. Or maybe not, I don't know. I might be wrong on that. But, you know, they only afford 3, and, you know what, that kind of logic is sort of making sense to me. In spot of what I used to play a 4th Windbrisk Heights is, I added 1 Eganja Castle. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I usually don't play it, because I usually only play 4 regular Thalias, but I've added the big Thalia to the deck, and now there's a lot of value to be gained by adding a castle with the Thalia. Because she has 2 toughness, you're able to stop bolts from killing her, like, which, you know, like, in addition, of course, the few two damage spells and effects that you can use to protect Thalia. Now all of a sudden there's a lot of spells you could use to protect the big Thalia. So, like, now it seems worth it to me, and especially dropping down the Windbrisk Heights allows me to still keep my magical 7 planes. 7's the lowest I like to go, like with Blood Moons and getting into Path battles and Field of Ruins and all that. Like, you want to have a decent amount of basic lands in this deck, and in all tax versions, I would think. But, you know, obviously Black-White, you're not going to be afforded that. You know, I guess in the 2-color versions, you're probably just not afforded that many basics. But especially now with that new, what is it called? Trophy. Assassin's Trophy. Of course, everyone's going to be talking about that. You're going to want more basics in Modern, probably. Okay, so anyways, continuing. We got our 3 Mutavaults, which, you know, I've been playing that a long time. A long time ago I used to play 4, but since I moved into Eldrazi and... oh, oops. Sorry, some weird command on my computer. Before I started playing Eldrazi, I used to have 4, but, you know, just finding, like, again, it's like getting 2 of them is sometimes good, but, like, you don't really want doubles as much as you'd like a varied ability to have multiple different types of effects between your lands. Added 1 field of... Oh, so an Eldrazi Temple. Because we've lowered the amount of Eldrazi in the deck, I've lowered the Eldrazi Temples by 1. You know, and I don't really miss it that much. Like, obviously sometimes I'm still praying to draw one, and having a 4th one makes it a better prayer, but to me, having, again, just a bit more diversity, and that frees up a spot, because I cannot afford to have any more colorless lands. I have a total of 3, 4, 8, 11. 11 white, colorless, 13 white. Oh, and then it turns into 13 colors, excuse me, with the Shepherd Dunes. So it's like 13 and 13. We're on, you know, that's pretty bare bones, I think. But yeah, you can't go into more colorless lands than that because you can't go below 13 planes. So Field of Ruin is occupying a spot that the 4th Temple used to use, and you know what? It's had a lot of good effect for me. Like just being able to kill like their Ink Moth early. Some decks actually even only have one basic, so being able to Field of Ruin them and then Path to Exile their creature is almost like an extra little Arbiter effect. It's a 5th Ghost Quarter against like Tron or, you know, Colonnades. It's nice to just be able to kill that stuff. It's just been very good. It's and then sometimes when you have your Arbiter, it's not as good because you got to spend a lot of mana to activate it, and then neither of you get the land. But sometimes that's all you need to beat a deck, right? So, and then rounding out the lands is the Shepherd Dunes. These were just created not too long ago, brought into the Magic world. At first, actually, I was underwhelmed by it. I thought, oh, why can't they give me a good card? But then, you know what? I started playing with it, and it's like, this thing has actually won me quite a few games. I don't think I'd want to go up to 3 because I can't afford to keep up with the fast, aggressive decks by paying life to make mana. Like, that's why Horizon Canopy's not a consideration for me. Is well, first of all, it doesn't make colorless, so it would have to go into the basic plains type slot, and also yeah, just having to take damage from it every time. Like if I'm up against an aggressive deck, I don't have those extra life points to give. One of the big advantages I have with this deck, when I have played you know, through various versions of Modern, I've been playing this since 2012, so I've seen a lot of different decks, right? And the big thing is that I do no damage to myself. Like you could really you could state that certainly at points in Modern that like 17 is the life total of a Modern player. Like, you know, sometimes everyone's just fetching and shocking at least like once in a match, or you're triple fetching, or, you know, this or that. Like, it's just lots of fetching, lots of damage from your lands. For me, I almost never take damage from my lands. So, like, a lot of tight games where it's, you know, every life point counts, like, well, I didn't throw any away to make mana. So, you know, that gives me the edge in those types of scenarios, and they happen, you know, fairly frequently, right? Like, sometimes you're just in a hobbled foot race with you each got a couple of guys and you're just going for it. They may be a little mana screwed or mana flooded, or mana screwed, I guess, with the pay life situation. But, you know, I think you get what I'm saying. That for me, yeah, it's just too much of a cost to actually pay life on the regular to produce my mana. So, yeah, that rounds up the deck. Get into the sideboard here. The 4th Thought Knot, usually you'd side out an Angel in most of the matchups where you'd want it, but then some decks are just so slow, like, even if you don't play the Thought Knot that early, like, they're not killing you. So don't freak out, don't worry, just keep getting out what you can, making the plays you can, work your lands, work, you know, your creatures, and then finally you'll get there, and, you know, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, against any deck where you'd want a Thought Knot, but you want to keep it fast, you just take out the Resto just to have, you know, more Thought Knot and less Resto. Even Mind Sensor, I waffle with this guy lots. It seems like whenever I have him in my board, I don't really face decks with Primeval Titan, and the moment I cut him, I'm just up against Titan Shift. Like, so I don't know what to do with the guy. I think I should keep him in there just as like a ward to keep those Valakut decks away. But yeah, I mean, he's also good against like Blue-White Control. I've had great success recently with him, like against their Field of Ruins. They Field of Ruin you in response. You play an Aven Mind Sensor. Like, thank you. Thanks for that. Good luck on finding a land. You know, just a good versatile card. It's another flyer against like old school Affinity or even Infect, you know. Okay, but we got 2 Irrational Clerics, which I wish they were a better card, but the fact that they're 1/3s, is I think very good for our deck, because we're kind of a defensive aggressive deck. It's kind of odd if you watch the deck play out. It's like Wall of Omens, but into Blade Splicer, then Resto, and like all of a sudden you're attacking for like, you know, 10 damage, but you've played a wall, like, or, you know, and they're not able to get in on you with their like chip-in damage as you're swinging in with everything. It's like it's very nice to have these creatures that are able to block in Modern these days, like because there's a lot of like zombies, a lot of you know, like Bridgevine. Cleric is a lot better than, say, I can't remember the guy's name again. The 2/1 guy, you gain 4 life for the same casting cost. I played him before because 4 life seemed better to me. I used to play him for a long time, but then the situation came up where like I'm up against Bloodghast and stuff, and it's like, you know what, this actually kind of sucks. Like, I don't want to have to throw this guy away against the Bloodghast. Whereas the Cleric just keeps working, keeps doing it. Also, the Cleric sticks around so that you can activate your Windbrisk Kites as the game goes along. So you're able to get him out, hold off a creature, your guy lives, and then you get to, you know, when it's time, all your crappy leftover guys attack in, and you get a powerful card from Windbrisk Kites. As well as, like, it's only 2 to use that, so you probably even get to play another good spell that turn. Journey to Nowheres. I've played O-Rings in this spot before. Journey, it just seems like the creature decks are fast and coming at you, and there's not as many reasons to play Oblivion Ring these days. Like, there are some decks, obviously, where they're great, but those decks don't tend to be our worst matchups. They could be strengthened by having access to a thing like Oblivion Ring. Like, for instance, like KCI, it's another good way to remove things. But I mean, they have engineer explosives. They can, you know, nature's claim. So is that the game you want to play? Tron, I never end up siding them in, and that's kind of like what's pushed me towards like moving into the journeys, because it's like, if they just Karn it, they get their other card back, or if they O-Stone, they get the O-Stone into whatever you removed, and I'm sure you removed something nasty. So yeah, so we went down to journeys just to be able to, like, second turn just take out your early creature against the decks where that's extremely good. 3 Rest in Peace. I've played 4 for a long time. I just find that I don't come up against the matchups often enough to warrant having the 4th, and also sometimes drawing multiple in a game. Like, the decks know about Rest in Peace, so they're often gaming to have a backup plan of, like, beating you down with crappy creatures usually. But it can work if you keep drawing more and more copies of Rest in Peace and not enough, like, actual, like, I can't forget the purpose of my deck, which is to play creatures and attack with them. You know, creatures that probably screw my opponent, to buy myself enough time to attack them to death and gain value as I'm slowing them down. So Rest in Peace doesn't accomplish those goals. Rest in Peace stops my opponent. So my deck's not built to just stop my opponent like that, though. My deck's built to slow my opponent down while I, you know, put a clock on him. That's actually why, like, you know, they say Tron, like, a single Ghost Quarter from my deck can often get me the game against Tron, because I'm able to apply enough pressure. Whereas, like, a lot of decks where that's their strategy, like, you know, like, just Ghost Quarter your land, like, even the Trophy, Assassin's Trophy, this new card, green black, instant, destroy target permanent, its controller searches for land. So it's almost like Vindicate, Abrupt Decay, Vindicate, Path to Exile. So it's like an insanely powerful card. Oh, geez, no, not my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. I just lost my train of thought. But because that card is good. It keeps circling in my mind. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to have to move on from there because I don't remember what I was going to say with that. But, yeah, so we're on these Rest in Pieces. They're good. Revoke Existences have been excellent. Like, this downside of not having them over a Disenchant is negligible. The instant effect, like, I can't think of many instances where instant would have been good, but Revoke Existence, I can think of a few times that is absolutely won me the game, exiling the permanent. And even in, I believe in one of my rounds in the tournament there, I'll be showing you the game, some of the replays there, then you know, you'll see where Revoke Existence made a huge impact on the game against KCI. 2 Stony Silences, I've been, oh, so yeah, Revoke Existence also good to be able to, like, take, like, against Tron you want to bring in a card like Disenchant. But Disenchant, if they just drop their Wurmcoil really early, Disenchant does not help you that much. Like, you're probably still going to just lose that game if Disenchant's your answer to it. So Revoke Existence is a nice clean answer to it, but it also does stop the the Oblivion Stone. And it does, you can, with Revoke Existence, you could even take out their star in if it's like a real, like, we both mauled type game, like, instead, and the star only triggers on going to the graveyard, so the Revoke is just a clean way to deal with it. And keep your opponent back. Yeah, like I'm saying, in those games where you both have almost nothing going on, and like, you know, it's nitty gritty. In a nitty gritty game, Revoke Existence has even extra benefits. Not that you'd want to be removing Chromatic Stars with it very often. Stony Silences, excellent against the field. I'm strongly considering getting a third one in here, maybe at the expense of Aven, but then I know I'm just going to play Valakut all day if I do that, so we'll see about that. But yeah, so 2 Stonies, possibly a third, shut off all the artifacts. There's more and more stuff that is being broken with artifacts in Modern all the time, it seems. This card has just gotten better and better. Like, it used to just be pretty much good against Affinity, and then like Lantern Control was like an outside deck that people played a bit, and then it's like, now it's like there's like a half dozen decks that Stony Silence really, really hurts. So, you know, play Stony Silences, guys. They're very good. And then rounding it out is 2 Eidolon of Rhetoric. This card, you know what, sometimes I go through some tournaments where I don't use them very much, and then I start going down 1 or 2 of them, and then I end up getting awoken to the fact that it's a very, very, very good card that I could use in a lot of corner case decks, but primarily Storm, clearly. Like, it's a 1/4. Most of the stuff they do to side in to deal with creatures does not do 4 damage. It's impossible to grape shot this guy to death. Empty the Warrens, their other plan is stopped by this. So, and then the rituals are all dead cards, essentially. So, I mean, the thing is very good against them. They have to get a bounce spell to get rid of it. So, I mean, that has a lot of value. Sometimes I'll side it in against Bloodbraid decks just to stop them from getting that advantage, and it happens to be a 1/4 against a 3/2, so I mean, that lines up well. Like, so if they have enough guys the Rhetoric actually blocks, then I think it's a very good sideboard card against a deck with Bloodbraids. Living End, obviously, it's very good against those types of decks, or Restore Balance, I guess, if you could sometimes run into it. Blue-white-red decks, playing 3 or 4 Snapcasters, I like to side in against them because they can't kill it, and very easily anyway, and it's a 1/4, so it blocks their Snapcasters extremely well, as when it's time to attack in to activate the Windbrisk Kites, it's very hard for them to stop, you know, it and other big, like, we have a lot of 4 toughness in the deck, actually, especially once you side these in. You got the Walls, the Thought Knots, the Restos, and then these, so I mean, that's, you know, a lot of butt. So yeah, and then there's you know, what else? What other situations do I side these things in? I don't know. I can't, against maybe even like Summoners packs and stuff, like, you know, it's like, okay, so you'd have to be able to search first and then look the next turn. So I mean, you know, just depending on how desperate I felt against those decks, and the decks with Summoners packs are generally bad matchups, so you might be on a hope and prayer against them. So Eidolon of Rhetoric could be good in those situations. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the deck and the choices. And I think we're going to convert over to just the replays and just go through them. Yeah, we'll just go through the games. We'll go through them quick. I'll give you some brief notes, and that'll be that. So you'll see how the Modern Challenge went for me. We'll take the journey together. We'll see you in the gameplay videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and, you know, like, comment, subscribe, that sort of thing. About, you know, especially comment about things that you enjoy or don't enjoy about the video or the deck, you know. Okay, hello Taxers, here we are in replay video 1 of the Modern Challenge that I participated in. There will be an episode 6, I believe, of my series on channel Nikachu here. Will feature a deck very close to this. The first video should go up the day that this goes up, and one will be released every day. So make sure to tune into those to see some live gameplay action with my buddy Derek. We have a good time. Yeah, check that out. So okay, yeah, so I'm up against KCI here. He looks like he has a normally good start. I'm not feeling great at this point with what he has going on. He's on 3 lands now, but, oh, sorry, Thought Knot. When I did Thought Knot him, I saw a Clark Clan Ironworks, Chromatic Star, Buried Ruin, Scrap Trawler, and a Grove. So I went with the Ironworks, and I assume instead of him going off, like you probably would have on this next turn, he's you know, ends up not being able to. So then I top deck into, I don't know, I draw whatever I draw there. Sorry, I'm going to just adjust this a bit. I'm still new to this. Okay, try it like that. I don't know what this looks like on the screen. I can't see it right now. So this will be a learning experience maybe for me. Yeah, so he had to say go with the Thalia out, or he played a Scrap Trawler, excuse me, with the Thalia out. So that's what I'm up against at that point. And and he has a Spell Bomb here for the Thalia. So I just play the Patience game and do not tap my mana so he cannot Spell Bomb this Thalia. Get in there, he's almost dead. He's looking, he gets out a second Scrap Trawler, so I mean, yeah, he would have easily gone off had he gotten this Ironworks going. But being at 7, I use the Displacer to just tap both his blockers and kill him. Okay. Replay game 2. So KCI, I thought was the type of deck I would like to play all day, every day. I sided in, I think, like 9 cards against him. Here you just see a Revoke Existence, but both Stonies, all the Rest in Pieces, Eidolons, this Mind Sensor. So he has like what looks like to be a great start here. He's got 2 lands, Mox Opal, Chromatic Star, Pyro Spellbomb to my Windbrisk Heights. So, I mean, right now I thought I was probably going to die. So I Revoke Existence his Mox Opal. Now Revoke removed it from the game, which was incredibly important. Because, well, right there he just Ancient Stirrings to try to get a land, and I think he whiffed on it. So, like, he's in big trouble now. I knew he couldn't go off next turn because of... Well, I just figured he couldn't, I guess. I took the chance that he wasn't going to top deck a land and a Mox on this next turn. Otherwise, I would have played the Thalia. If he had a 3rd land, I would have played Thalia for sure. Because I hadn't looked at his hand yet. Oops. So he just Ichor Wellsprings. I'm able to get in for 4, and I think... What did I do? Oh, sorry. What did I just do? Sorry. Oh, he ended up spellbombing my Thalia. Okay. Oh, okay doesn't help me, sorry. Never done this before. So yeah, Retriever and Engineered Explosives on 0 to kill my Golem. I attack in with the Golem to force him to make his move there, play another Thalia. He doesn't do much, so now I'm sitting on with the Aven Mind Sensor, Arbiter, Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin. Not much of a clock, but a clock. So he goes in for the block. I let that happen. And then I just use the Ghost Quarter and the Field of Ruin to kill both his lands. Don't even play the Arbiter. Oh, wait. Is that how I did it? I think he might have killed my Mind Sensor on the next turn or something. Because I don't know why. He wasn't able to get lands. I'm pretty sure my Mind Sensor... Okay, I'm not able to back that up. So, sorry. I think I just killed both his lands with the Mind Sensor out, but for some reason the Mind Sensor's gone now. Maybe he tried to kill the Mind Sensor and then I did it. I don't know. I can't tell you because I can't back it up. Sorry. So yeah, at this point though, he's dead. So yeah, that was round 1. We like playing against KCI. Being able to revoke his mana felt nice. I don't know if it necessarily went in there. We're skipping over it so fast. And you know what? The tournament started at 4. I'd already had a full day. So I remember that match better. But as we get into these later matches, I actually have a fairly fuzzy memory. So round 1, 2-0 against KCI. Round 2. We are up against Hardened Scales. So this looks like the type of hand where I'm just going to get killed. Draw the gut shot after with the Hardened Scales out is bad. So he's coming at me with a super big worker. I'm able to do my beautiful wall of... Oh, thought I was going to... Oh yeah, he's able to just evolutionary leap his dude, move all the counters over to the Ballista and just shoot me for 13. KCI. So that's how that game went. I was feeling like I'm not feeling good after that, I'll tell you. I felt, oh man, I hate KCI. I hate Hardened Scales. So game 2, I mull to 5. Top deck a nice temple to get my Displacer going very quickly. Top deck Stony Silence, he's got an Overseer out. The beautiful positioning of having the gut shot to just kill this when he does in fact answer that. So I think he just hit me with a blink. Oh no, he played Evolutionary Leap, that's it. So I think I just... Oh, I played a wall and another Stony Silence so that he can't just Hardened Scales it away. Or, excuse me, Nature's Claim it away. So yeah, he just goes for his lands. He can't really function very well with this Stony Silence out. So I just get a couple regular creatures. Aside from these Stonies, my draw is not, incredible. It was, I guess, wall into Resto was very nice, but having the active Displacer is insane. Oh yeah, at one point he did get up. He had 2 ballistas, each with 3 counters on them, and then he was able to use Evolutionary Leap to make like a bunch of tokens. But then he blocked with the tokens on the Angel. I used a Gut Shot or a Path to, I think it was a Path to kill one when he blocked with everything. Yeah, so that's a multi-5 victory against a deck that just stomped me so bad. Oh, that's going. Whoever's going first has a very, very big advantage, I'm going to say. So, game 3, going second. First turn, Hardened Scales. Oh, but no second land, but double Hardened Scales. Stony Silence for me. Versus Overseer. I just get the Blade Splicer out. I was thinking, because if he Nature's Claimed that, I thought that it would be... I didn't think he'd be able to Nature's Claim and play a creature for some reason, even though... I mean... I guess because, I wasn't expecting to hit land drops. I don't know. But it was pretty unfortunate when he just played... When he killed that, now he's able to make this worker into a 6/6, and he has a 3/3 Steel Overseer here. So I'm up against the wall a little. This is a little out of hand. Oh, hitting okay is not helping, guys. Sorry. So I journey his guy, so he's only got the 1/6/6 now. And then he played 2 more workers, which are 3/3s each. Oh, okay. So I played a Blade Splicer and another blocker, Wall of Omens, which drew me into a Resto, which is, that's pretty nice. Drawn to a Gut Shot, which I don't see helping me here. I'm trying to think about why the game ended there. He is still at 16. I thought the game went on a little longer than this, because I think I played the Resto when I think he tries to attack him with 1/6/6. I play the Resto, block it, draw a card. But that still only gives me 3 in the air if I attack with every... Oh! Because he had no thing. Yeah, I think this is a fairly complicated thing. I wish it wouldn't have done this. But I'm pretty sure that I play the Resto, make a Golem, animate Mutavault, and then attack with everything. So that gives me 5... so say he blocks 2 creatures because he attacked with his worker. Yeah, maybe I blocked the Blade Splicer and Blanket, excuse me. So... say he blocks 2 golems, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's only 12 damage though, so I'm not sure exactly why he died. I have a Rest in Peace under here, so I might have activated that. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. I don't exactly know why this game finished like this. I just know that he couldn't get in on me with all these big guys. I think the game went on a while longer. I think he used these leaps to make like a super guy, and then I was able to deal with the super guy. But, you know what? Sorry. That was a long day of playing Magic, but hey, I ended up winning this game regardless. Double Hardened Scales. He missed a land drop, but then hit his land drops, and felt good. I was glad to be 2-0. Round 3. Is this burn? It is burn. So I'm holding my Thraben. I ain't going to tell you guys, I didn't like this Thraben very much. I'm actually really thinking his spot should be a Selfless Spirit these days. Give a guy indestructible, that sounds good to me. So yeah, okay, he gets in for 2. I play Wall of Omens, he attacks it and bolts it, which is a thing that I love when they do. I play Thalia. He doesn't have a way to kill Thalia in his hand. He's down to 1 card, so he plays a second creature. I'm at 12, so I'm pretty sure I'm winning this one. Now I've got a formidable army, so he's for sure not getting in. He has to kill Thalia. But still can't get in. I play a Flicker Wisp, make another Golem. He's at 16, like, the game's almost over. Oh, and it's a rest 1 to the Windbrisk Heights, so... Okay, so it looked a little rough to start, but, well, he missed it. He put it first turn landing to play tap there, and then he had his Goblin Guide for turn 2. So, I mean, I was at 2 life at the end, because he did top deck a bunch of bolts in a row. So, had he drawn the 2 damage first, the first turn, he would have got there, but he did not. So, we go to game 2. Because there's a game 3, you can imagine what happens to me. Yeah, Goblin Guide. No luck. Grim Lavamancer and another Goblin. Take a guess how it goes, guys. I'm at 14. Eidolon, take 3, I'm at 11. Path your Eidolon. No, yeah, I think I path the Eidolon and drop another wall. I'm at 9. It's got 2 cards. I'm at 8 from my single attack. In response, he helixes me to the Thought Knot, and then he bolts me again on his own turn. Yay, burn. You got me. I don't play no Shining Shoals anymore. It's one matchup where I truly miss them. So I go first. I mull once and keep a Thalia hand. The guys think I win or lose this one. Here comes Grimmy. Oh, there's a nice Irrational Cleric. I'm at a healthy 23. Journey to Nowhere, that little bugger. Eidolon. He's at 16. I animate Mutavault, get in for 2. He has to pay a fetch land to get a land. He's at 13 now. He's Searing Blood's my... What was it? Was it just the Thalia? I thought the Thalia was killed by something else. Okay, no going back, so... I'm not sure what he's Searing Blood. Oh, I don't think he... Did he cast it? I don't understand. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's Searing Blood there. I'm a little confused. Okay, so I've drawn another land, so I'm going to just get in with Mutavault. He's down to 9. Keep my Irrational Cleric to stop the Eidolon. I get him for... I'm going in for 2. He does a chump block. I play a Thraben. And then I think he Lightning Helix me after the combat. Oh, because I took away all his white mana. With Ghost Quarters. I sacked them all. Another Grim Lavamancer. Well, top deck a path, right? Why not? Oh, he finally killed the Irrational Cleric. Can you put me at 7? Mutavault Thalia. Animate attack for 5. That sounds good to me. Oh, so this was funny. I played this Arbiter. He had a fetch land out. He didn't respond. Then on his turn, I think he top decked the Arid Mesa? And I'm pretty sure he just excitedly sacked it because of the forgetting to pay for the Arbiter. But there was also a Thalia, so I think he would have had to sack it at the end of the turn. And then he would have drawn something different, so who knows. But I think it was maybe a play error on his part because he wasn't able to sack on his own turn, pay for Thalia, and pay for a Boros Charm. So if that was a Boros Charm he drew, that would have been funny. So we got there. That was very close, clearly. It's a close match. Going first usually decides it. Essentially, I find that if they get a lot of creatures and you don't stop them, you die. If they get no creatures and you don't put a good... you don't tax them very much, then you die. But in most of the other scenarios where you both get a reasonable creature draws, or they're creature heavy and you are creature heavy, like those are easy games to win. They mana flood, you win. You know, like, so it's basically just I fear the all burn hand more than really like a couple creatures. Although that being said, if a Goblin Guide hits me like 2 or 3 times before I get off the ground, then I'm dead. So yeah, also too, like I used to just play my Thalia first against the red deck against like a Goblin Guide, but now I'm finding they have so many Searing Blazes and Searing Bloods, especially after sideboarding, that I'd rather just get the wall out there because the wall gets a block in plus the bolt versus just getting the bolt and then you getting hit. So it's better to like make them use those removals on the wall and then play a Thalia that taxes them. Even if you don't have as good of a chance of like making him miss casting spells, you know, there's some games where they're stuck on 2 and Thalia is going to be great on turn 2 or turn 5, but if he has another bolt, if he has a bolt to kill it, then it doesn't help you. So, you know, I don't know, that's my thoughts. So I think I'm starting to really like getting out the higher toughness guys that they can't just bolt and hit you, as opposed to just trying to get the tax creatures out that screw them. Because, you know what, it's just hard to mana screw them. It's better to just prevent damage to yourself. Like, prevent damage is more important. So anyways, that was round 3. We're 3-0 in the Modern Challenge. I like that. I did win one of these once, and the prize was actually outstanding. And I got second once, and the prize was very good. So I was starting to dream big at this point. So round 4. Who do you think it is? It's humans, guys. It's humans, and I don't think I bring my best. Oh, this hand looks pretty good, actually. I'm pretty sure I just get skunked here, though. We got Champion. What did you do? Champion Thalia's Lieutenant for his turn 2. I gut shot at the Lieutenant with the ability on the stack. Gut shot's good. Gives you a fighting chance anyway. See here, I think that this is the mistake I made that cost me this game. I played my Eldrazi Temple a turn before I played my Thought Knot. Had I played a different land, he wouldn't have named these cards. Even though this one didn't do anything, this one did the perfect thing. Because this Thought Knot ends up rotting. It's the Rot Knot Seer. The Thought Rot Seer? What would you guys call that? The big Thought Rot didn't see the right play. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just getting crushed. My taxing creatures suck. And his draw's good. Like, his draw's, you know, he's firing on, I wouldn't say all cylinders, but many cylinders anyway. Okay, he's not going to help me. So, yeah, I just eat my beats. That's how it is. Down to 8. Don't do anything. Don't do anything real. Die. Two Mantis Riders. Like, you know, just when I'm like, oh, maybe I could. No. Here comes more Mantis Riders. Okay, so round 5. Or round 4, excuse me. Game 2. Just watch what humans does to me when they feel like hurting me. So I have to mull into double Arbiter hand. I wish I could take Arbiters out of my deck in this matchup. I'll put it that way. So it's like, I feel like I've mulled 3, actually. I should have just mulled again. I've been deciding in one random Stony to stop Aether Vials, actually. Just because, you know, it's kind of a matchup where you got to get a little lucky to win, so why not? I think he was surprised. Like, yeah, unfortunately he just had the mana to just do it. Even though his Aether Vial got skunked, like, these are kind of like a perfect assortment of creatures to really hurt me. Like, if he was on more like a Meddling Mage type draw, like, maybe I could have done it, but just all his guys getting bigger each time he plays something. Mantis Rider, Reflector Mage, that's all just too much. Just too nice of a even distribution of his powerful cards. So I die. Feeling like, God, I'll never win a game of Magic again. Round 5. Oh, what did you play? Oh, Inquisition of Kozilek, taking my Blade Splicer. Wall, Blade Splicer, land. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm looking at a Tarmogoyf. I'm looking at needing to top deck a land, so I just path this to Goyf to keep him threat free. I don't know what that Thought Knot thing on the stack was. I clearly do not have enough mana to do that. So he's got a lot of lands. I don't have many. But here come the Blade Splicers. But he has Lingering Souls that she can cast both in one turn. And I don't even get my double white to make my Flicker Wisp dreams come true. Oh yeah, I was able to use I animated both Mutavaults, attacked everything at Lily. Inquisition doesn't take Thought Knot. Well, wait, do I win this game? He's down to 9. Mutavaults and Golems for striking. Traverse for Siege Rhino. That's a big threat. How does he... I'm actually excited. I don't really remember what happens here. So I played the Resto. He killed the Resto, but I get the other Golem. He's at 12. And I just go for the Tri-Mutavault, all Golem Alpha Strike. Yeah, that felt good. That was a nice one to win. He obviously flooded out a little. But I find the discard, like... My deck's very redundant. So discard spells are only so good against me. Like, they're obviously first turn, take my best card is a good play. Like, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, all my cards sort of overlap and sort of, you know, synergize in a way that taking one thing often isn't that big a deal because you have just a good distribution of creatures that are either similar or attack in a way that is similar enough that you can take opponents off what they're trying to do. So, and there's lots of bodies in the deck, so it's like, you know, even with the, like you see here at the Mutavault, it's like, normal, if we actually, we have he has one more land than me out at this point. And yet, I have these 3 extra creatures. Like, that is, you know, like, that's powerful. That's a lot of power. Yeah, so, I mean, that's it for that game. I was a little surprised I won it. Here comes game 2. I mulled into a keep this hand because I didn't want to go further deeper. And Mutavault's a really good game 1. So he plays Windswept Heath, Tarmogoyf. I draw the planes, of course, because I'm very good at magic cards, guys. He gets a second Tarmogoyf, which is not scaring me very much. Yeah, Arbiter out. So, oh, here, okay. I went by that pretty quick. Sorry, this was funny. He top decked his Marsh Flats. He played it and sacked it before paying for the Arbiter. And then he path exiled the Arbiter after. Now that is an unfortunate series of events, especially if you would have actually just been more patient at this point. I mean, if I play another creature, you just get to kill that creature without giving me the land. And like, I'm on 1 white and 2 colorless, so I kind of feel like that was a misplay. And then later on, he ends up actually chatting me up a little and saying that it's like, oh, you got, it sucks that it just came down to a misplay, or a misclick. And it's like, well, man, I think you kind of forgot about the Arbiter. I've had that happen to me in real games a lot of times, guys. I've seen it a lot. Like, people, and very good players, just forgetting the Arbiter, forgetting even Mind Sensor. Like, it's, especially with a top deck. Because the top deck is just like, yes, especially something that, like, fetching a land, it goes unimpeded 99.9% of the game. So it's like when you top deck it, there's that impulse to just crack it. And sometimes you, even after you do it, you'll think, there's an Arbiter before you even pick up your deck. But, you know, you have to hold priority and you have to pay Arbiter. You have to sack your fetch land and say, I'm paying for it. If your opponent asks you, if you're doing anything, he has given up his opportunity to pay for the Arbiter. Even though it doesn't use the stack, you still need to have priority to pay it. So if you've given priority, you can't pay it until your next priority. So it's important to know. But yeah, he felt that that was the biggest deal. I mean, I feel like this Rest in Peace just completely destroyed his life, is my opinion on it. So I draw an extra Rest in Peace, which is good because he ends up actually top decking Maelstrom Pulse soon or something. Or an Abrupt Decay maybe that was. No, not yet. He plays a Grim Player first. I thought not him. Take away his thing. Lingering Souls, no backside, because Rest in Peace is just working. Oh, so Thought Not took out his Siege Rhino, it looks like. I left his Lingering Souls because I had the Rest in Peace already. So that's where he just Maelstrom Pulsed. Yeah, Maelstrom Pulsed. Maelstrom Pulsed or Rest in Peace. And the Rest in Peace removed itself, so take note of that for tournaments as well, guys. Okay, so how do I respond? I think I just play another Rest in Peace. Make sure all those guys just really suck. Keep going in. I mean, with his third land, I don't know. Let's look at his cards here. What was he going to play with his 3? I think he was just going to play his Lingering Souls that turn, but if I didn't have the Arbiter out, but even if I didn't, like, he would have had to pay the mana that turn. He would have had an extra land in the game, but he would, you know, like, not that turn. He wouldn't have been rolling. So, I don't know. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but he seemed to, and he let me know it. So, we're getting close to the top 8 now. I think at that point we would be on 4-1. Round 6. Yeah, first from Windbrisk Heights. Sorry. He plays Aether Vial, so black-white plus Aether Vial. You know what we're up against, guys. It's a pseudo mirror. 1 second. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, a pseudo mirror match. In this game, he misses his second land drop, and it's all about the Aether Vial. Now, if anyone of you guys have been following my series, you know that apparently I famously do not like Aether Vial. So now you are going to see man versus Aether Vial. Truly, because I'm actually going to just kill his... So yeah, he Title of Scholars takes away my Path Exile. I did not like that. On his third turn here, see there, I could have had an option to attack with everything and activate Windbrisk Heights instead of dropping this Arbiter. Oh, Arbiter Ghost Quarter. So I Ghost Quarter him to make sure he couldn't play, like, you know, get a second land to start dropping a 2-drop and a 3-drop the next turn. But in some worlds, it might have been nice to get this card free, because watch what happens here. He Wasteland Stranglers the card under the Windbrisk Heights. And then blocks. See, there too, I don't know, I might have had a mistake. He might have given me an opportunity to activate the Windbrisk Heights. Oh no, because Aether Vial comes in. Does this go on the stack? Oh yeah, so this went on the stack. You know what? I made a mistake here, guys. I should have activated the Windbrisk Heights. But luckily, don't worry. I've got lots of gas. I just play another Windbrisk Heights. It's all good. So yeah, I don't have much of a force anymore. He is at 6 life though, but I'm at 14 and he's got the active Aether Vial. So how do I handle it? I think I go for the attack, but he has a Displacer, because I thought he had enough 2 toughness that it would have worked. So now he's killed my Arbiter, but I play another Wall of Omens, so he can't get in now. Or not for very much. And he's at 4, so he's in real trouble. So, you know, my draw's not cooperating great here either, but I mean, having a lot of lands gives you a lot more options. So I'm just holding tight. So I get out another Arbiter, waiting for a land so I could Ghost Quarter it. But then now I draw a Resto Angel, so I mean, there's not a lot he could do about that. I play Resto. I think he concedes because I have Chef Dunes. Yeah, that 1 extra from Chef Dunes sometimes that's many more. It's a difference maker. It can change the math. Okay, game 2. So that was pretty lucky. He got well, I mean, he had his Aether Vial. He kept his land Aether Vial start, which I would have had to keep if I was playing Aether Vials in a tournament. And I had done many times previously. So yeah, for game 2 I side in again, just 1 Stony Silence. The opportunity to screw so many Aether Vials is like a little tempting, but I don't know. It might have been a mistake. I think I just had a few cards I didn't. I think I might have taken out the gut shots, but again, that might not. He doesn't have many 1 toughness in his deck, especially after Thalia comes out. And with our Wall of Omens, we're not so worried about like things like our opponents like Thalia's. Like, you know, like it does have the first strike. It's good in combat, but Wall of Omens just does not care. He was just made for blocking. So he strangles. Why is the game ended? There was way more to this game than this, guys. This was very close. He ends up getting me down to 1 before I make my big comeback. But yeah, as soon as I drop this Blade Splicer, is that his path or my path? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's his path, I think, right? Yeah. So he's pathing my Thought-Knot. He's going to draw the card for it. Get in hard. So I think he hits me for the 8 here. I go down to like 5. Then I play like the Blade Splicer. And he puts me down to 2. And then at one point I have to tap this for a white. And I end up going down to 1. But I get another Plains. So yeah, I think it's... Next turn I play the Blade Splicer or the Resto. I'm not sure. I think I played the Blade Splicer, then the next turn I Resto, and he's pretty much locked out of the game. But to be honest, it's a little fuzzy. This was starting to get into, I don't even know, to 11 at night or something. And I had already had a full day before that. So all I can tell you, sorry about that. I wish I would have had a little more memory or more game shown to me here. But I remember this one being extremely close. And Mr. Black-White opponent, whose name I can't see. Oh, Peanups. Peanups, hats off to you. I thought that you played well. And, you know, you just had to rely on Aether Vial. That was your downfall. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Okay, so round 7, win and in time, guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever played for some intense win and ins. I don't know if this is intense, but you know, I wanted it. I'll tell you that much. So we play, and it's Tron, old friend Tron. It's a double Ghost Quarter hand against Tron. So I think we go by our old standby play of, even though we have the Ghost Quarter, we just play Thalia, hope it's not the Worm Coil, and it is. So I Ghost Quarter him once and play Wall of Omens. He plays a tower. I think he gets in for 6. Yeah, a lot of see, my deck suffers when I draw doubles of too many things often, like, you know, especially double Flicker Whiff. That's why I can never be more than 2 of these. It's an excellent card. It's just there's too many scenarios where I'm looking at this, the 1 white 2 colorless. If that was their casting cost, I probably would be playing 3 or 4 of these things. But at the double white, I can't. It's a luxury I can't afford. So we're just trying to battle back and not get killed by this Worm Coil. He gets down to 8, he Ulamogs me, taking away most of my good cards. I path his Ulamog. I go down to 2 from his Worm Coil attack. He plays a Karn and I die. Yeah, that was too much for me, even me, guys. Yeah, he got me there. Game 2. Tournament could be over. You see game 3, so you know it's not quite over yet. You get to play first. First turn, Hideaway Land. Second turn, land, go! This doesn't look like I'm going to win against Tron. He Sylvan Scryings for a Tron piece. On my turn, I top deck... I think I top deck the Arbiter or the Ghost Quarter. I think I had the Ghost Quarter, I top deck the Arbiter, so I like that. And then we get out an even Mind Sensor at instant speed. So now his Expedition maps are really rough. Thought Knot him. Take away his Karn. I think he had another Karn, a Sylvan Scrying. Let's see, where is this revealed? Because I remember this one actually being interesting. Karn, O-Stone, and Ulamog. Sorry, I'm going to have to speed up because I'm running out of time. So we get in there with our creatures. He plays his O-Stone. We've got the Revoke Existence. This game is wrapped up. Okay, game 3. I think we second turn Arbiter, third turn Arbiter, I think. Oh jeez, I'm sorry guys. Oh, he blew the O-Stones with his Arbiters. I thought not him. I put enough pressure on him to get him very low. He had the O-Stone on his own turn, I think, so I was able to just... Or not his own turn. I don't know, that last turn. Sorry, I went through this one pretty fast. I'm going to take a little break from the camera and come back after for the last little bit, because my family needs me. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of game 3 of round 7 for the playoffs. This is our winning in, and it's all on the line now. We're on the draw, excuse me. And let's just see what happens in the game here. I'm gonna use this button. I should have been doing that the whole time. Holy, we're learning, folks. So he Trons hard. He revealed that with his Ancient Stirrings, I think. Okay, so yeah, we have no reason to believe he has Tron yet, except for the fact he has 2 Tron pieces, which always means they have Tron. So he had to use a power plant, and he drops an O-Stone on me. So I play another Arbiter, and you know, just kind of put the pressure on. He's at 14 from this attack. He's still 2 turns from laying his O-Stone, so I believe I decided to play this Thought Knot. In doing so, it is revealed to me, oh jeez, it is revealed that he has Karn, Nature's Claim, and another power plant in the Sanctum, so he's like not even close to Tron. He is going to be using this O-Stone. He's got a Nature's Claim for backup, and I believe I just take this Karn. Oh no, he had a Walking Ballista as well, excuse me, and I took it. because that's even scarier than Karn to a man like myself. I'm sure my fellow taxers agree. Alright, so yeah, he's just trying to get close. That's a perfect draw for this scenario. The Mutavault, because now the O-Stone can't be stopped. Get in for 8. He's at 6. On my next turn, he sits with his 5 mana up. So on my turn, I believe I animate Mutavault. Attack with everything. He blows the O-Stone, so the Mutavault gets to remain. He does get to draw a card for his efforts, but we're going to drop a land and use that temple, the raw power of extra mana in Modern, to make a Thought-Knot here. It reveals just a bunch of garbage. The game's over. The game's over, guys. He has to stop this and the Mutavault, which is that stop. He'd have to Ugin to stop those 2 permanents together. He could just get rid of this once. I hit him once and then chain into another way to kill this. So I guess a Karn, in theory, could kill this. He'd draw a card off it, no less. I'd attack him down to 2, and then he could Karn the land and lose his Karn. But I even have a Resto Angel on top of it. So, I mean, the Resto coming in at the end of his turn, he has so few ways he could possibly interact with that. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I guess that's the end of the game. Oh, and he says good game. Yeah, so that was the winning in. He's on 3 power plants. That's the kind of Tron I like to see. I think if you get all 4 of any individual piece of Tron, you should get to just get your mana for it. Your 3 mana, 2 mana each, whatever you want. Alright, so I'm up against a fellow playing Arcbound Worker deck. You know what that means. Hardened Scales. So I seem to remember him should have just killed me this first game, probably. I had to path his Overseer turn 2. Look at his board again. I got nothing out yet. So I get a Blade Splicer out. That's a little something. He's animating his Inkmoth. He hits me for 4 poison. I get out a Displacer with the mana up. So one of those times where drawing 2 temples is actually really good. So it's quite times like these that make you question your decisions. But the Field of Ruin came in handy throughout the tournament as well. So it's, you know, hey, it's this or that. You got to choose what you want to, you know, the tools you want at your disposal. So he's got Hardened Scales, Evolutionary Leap. I've still got not much going on, but like you're just gonna watch this raw power of this Displacer against him, just how it can make him not do anything ever. So yeah, animate Inkmoth, animate. Oh, he doesn't even go for 2, so he just keeps me, makes me use it on that. Then I think I just hit his Overseer at the end of the turn. So he ends up losing that game, which I don't even know. I think afterwards he had said that there's a lot of things that he misplayed on. He felt in that game, because as you can see here in game 2, he's going to be on the double mull. I remember this. And we have the gut shot start. So, yeah, I just get my Windrest Kites out, the norm for me. He plays an Overseer. See, one of the most unfortunate things here for me is that I don't have a 2-drop. See what I'm saying about these 4s and 3s, like these hands? I had the gut shot though, so I had to keep it, but he Ancient Stirrings into a second Overseer. So I'm gonna bring up, oh, I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so anyways, as you see, this Overseer is gonna get out of hand, and there's not much I can do about it. I've just got a handful of good stuff. Oh, and he gets the Walking Ballista going. While I'm all tapped out, it gets too big. So I have to just use my next play Flicker, Wisping it. It's no good. So yeah, I was just never able to get anything so that these angels end up doing something for me. Animation module, so more pump, or he can start making 1/1s to block, and I only have ground creatures at this time. He's still at 20 life. He's got his CRO activated that I can't do. I have sided into the extra journeys. I'm sorry guys, I didn't go over the sideboards too much as it goes, but this video is already going to end up being way too long. So I'm just gonna, as he just keeps overseering, I don't get to do much. He just keeps overseering. By the time I can resto my Blade Splicer, it doesn't matter. We end up getting into a talk, and I was like, it was a crazy tight one, man. And he goes, not really, lol. Made so many careless mistakes. And then I just write, I guess it felt tight to me, haha. Because it did. That first game looked like I was going to get killed. And then, yeah, here he says, and now the punishment is wrecking me. That was in game 2. But then the interesting part of this exchange, sorry to have that much preamble as I'm getting murdered here. He writes, one major one for me was casting Ballista for 2 instead of 3 and just killing your Displacer. But then he writes, when I gutshot his creature, gutshot most underrated card in Modern. You heard it here first. And I wrote, I agree. I agree. 2 main, man. And then he writes like, expletives. That's deep. I like it. And he's now things just got interesting as he just wipes the floor with me. So congrats to DJ WNS, excuse me. He took me down. That's how my Modern challenge ended this time. I thought I was on the stairway to maximum value there for a bit. I see Casey, I won it, and I think you all see, if you watched the round 1, you know I would have liked to have played against that in the top 8. So yeah, just the way it goes sometimes. You can you can only do so much. That was sad. It was sad. Look, it's going to be over for me right away, guys. Still got a rest. Still some fight in me, but just way too late. He even has another dismember. Double dismember for me. Yeah. I've had enough. It's over. Yeah, so that's how my Modern challenge ended. I think I got like 400 play points and 25 treasure chests for my efforts. The PTQ, real PTQ was that day, and it was at 11. I thought the Modern challenge was at 10, so I thought about playing in it, but then I looked at the prizes, and if you don't want to go to the Pro Tour, those things are not, it's like 30 tickets to enter, plus you got to use all your Pro Tour invite points, or whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called. You get these points to qualify for PTQs and stuff. And I'd have to use them, and I don't know how long they last, but I do have enough to enter it, but I don't know. I looked at that prize, it's like core set, and it's like this. There's a lot of chests, it's a lot of money. Like even there, I ended up with coming out quite a bit ahead, enough to get a set of Aether Vials, I think, or close to it, with 25 chests. You sell that. I think it's like 55 tickets. So I mean, that's probably pretty close. So so soon I'm going to be actually trying out some other more conventional decks. We'll be spicing up with this one still, and I might still play in some Modern challenges with my own, but I'm going to make some videos just more going over just more mainstream strategies so you can see them unfold, and you'll hear me complain about Aether Vial if it's not working, I'll tell you right now, but I'll also sing its praises when it's handy. So yeah, that was my Modern challenge. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like a comment if you did. Yeah, tell me why. Tell me if you didn't, tell me why. I'd like to hear it. And I'm all about improvement if I can. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to Channel Nikachu. We got Burn and Merfolk and Death and Tasks, of course. If we get enough guys, we'll get another enough subscriptions. Excuse me, we'll get another guy going maybe. So make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you. Check out my episodes. Sorry, this is the longest exit ever. Check out my episodes of this week's just D&T on Channel Nikachu. The other video should be up simultaneously with this one, and I'll play a deck very similar to this, a few changes, but not many, so you can see in action in real time. With my buddy Dark, we had a good time playing. So, yeah, we'll see you next time in episode 6 and beyond. Take care.